Hello, hello, hello. I am Chelsey.
And I'm Sammy, and this is
Deepish.
Woo! I feel like we're on our game today. I can already feel it in the air.
I know I feel like game show host right now because I'm buzzing.
Game show host. I know. I am podcaster.
She is me and we are her.
Yes, literally.
No, but also this episode is the start of something new that I'm giddy about.
I know. Are you guys ready to come on a journey with us?
Yeah, we have some OGs. And you are along for the ride.
We're about to switch some things up, and it's going to be a ride, but also we're so excited for the direction this is going to go. So why don't we tell our listeners how this pivot came to be? I want you to go back to where it all started and paint the picture for them of how inspiration struck for this.
Yes, this feeling is so universal. So I'm at a girls' night the other night, and everyone's giving the tea, the dirt. There's little nuances throughout the night. There's little glances and looks, and everyone goes quiet, or someone says something that's like, whoa. And you know what I was thinking too? It's a very White Lotus, Mike White creating that girls dynamic, where there's always some people are a little closer, some people are a little this, that feeling.
Or one of the girls says something and you know the other two are going to talk about it after.
Yes. And the two girls look at each other. We need to talk about this. So I'm leaving this girls' dinner and there's someone you call after. And I know everyone does this. You're driving home and you're like, I have to call either my best friend in the group or a third party best friend to just lay it all out there.
Yeah. To vent, but also purge all of the information that you just retained. It's too much information. This person this, and this person's husband this. And you just have to let it out. Not even in a malicious way, but you have to hash it out with someone or purge it out with someone who wasn't there.
Yes. And if your closest person in the group is there, it's like, oh my gosh, did you clock that? Did you hear what she said? Was that annoying? Or did I sound so weird? Or did I sound insensitive? Or, oh my gosh, was it me? Am I the problem? You need that sounding board. And guys, we are going to become that sounding board for you.
We are here for you, and we're going to be in this together. And every episode is going to feel like that purge.
And fly on the wall listening to people. And I think what I'm so blown away by is we decided to just blindly say, hey guys, we need a submission of the craziest thing that you've heard at a girls' night. And I am shocked.
You guys had some stuff to let out.
I didn't think it would blow up that big, but everyone is just like, boom, 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 telling us everything. And I was like, oh, we are striking a chord here.
Yep.
That people
100%.
Want to tell what they're hearing.
It's also in the same category of coming home and just rehashing it all to your husband.
And then the husband either is like, oh my gosh, no way. Or my husband's like, cool. Doesn't care about the drama. And I'm like, no, I need you to listen to this.
And you guys need to tell us your stories. As the topics change, we'll have a different topic each week that you guys can enter submissions for. But don't be scared because you can disguise some details. It's okay if your friend that told you this listens to the podcast. We will tell your story and you can change it up if you want to. But we are here for you to let it out.
But this is the thing too. This is the levity of it all. A lot of people were like, what would you do? What would you have said? I want to give our thoughts and opinions about these subjects. And hopefully people can hear some advice, what we would say. And our thoughts, and maybe that'll help some of these situations.
And some of them come through and they're not really asking for advice, they're just letting out, which is great too. We'll just still give our thoughts. But I think it will kind of serve as an advice column because there are so many times where I'm like, am I just being petty? Or am I a bad friend for not standing behind them on this idea or thinking that they're psycho for doing this?
There's always too the one friend you want to call to bring you back down to earth and really ground you and play devil's advocate. And then there's another friend who's like, no, that freaking bit, the ride at dawn.
Oh, between the two of us, you'll have it all.
Yes, exactly. And so this new segment that we're starting is going to be called
I shouldn't be telling you this, but ...
craziest thing you heard at a girls' night. That's this week's submission.
Because I start off every single piece of gossip I tell you with I shouldn't be telling you this, but...
No, literally. I shouldn't be telling you this, but...
Or like, don't tell anyone I told you this.
But if you do, tell them not to tell anyone.
Yeah. Or don't tell them you heard it from me.
Yes. Okay, so let's jump in. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So we both went through and picked a few so that we could share with each other. So I want to get your reaction from these.
I know. I don't know any of the ones that you have, so I'm really excited.
Okay, so this girl messaged us and said, one of our best friends has been dating a guy for about 6 months now. We all had our suspicions early on. He always forgets his wallet is weirdly secretive about what he does for work, consulting, but for who? And literally Venmo requested her $3.47 once for a coffee. The last straw was when she caught him taking photos of her credit card when he thought she was asleep. We don't know how to tell her without hurting her feelings, but we're worried he's using her.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me your thoughts.
It's like you need to hold her hand and say he's using you.
It's so hard, especially because they're dating. Obviously, when you're married, you probably don't have that problem. But when you see those issues when they're dating someone and you're like, this feels weird. Like, you sense it.
I want to know more of the context of the story. Have you guys said things before to her? Is she like, I'm so in love with him, da 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 da, or doesn't care? Or does she always go back to him?
Mm-hmm. She has to low-key know too. Which I think that's the approach you can take is, hey, how do you feel like he is with money? And you hold up that mirror for her and let her come to you and then say what her thoughts are.
Yes, exactly. Pull the mirror card. How do you feel about it?
Because taking a picture of her credit card while she's sleeping, that's sus.
And so she told her friends that. So she knew. Oh, yeah.
Which you would think that would facilitate the conversation. Because if that was my friend, I'd be like, that's weird.
Totally.
But I get when you're in those situations, she's like, oh no, but he said he was doing it for this and this and this. And then you're like, okay, then you excuse it and it's fine.
But it's such a slippery slope where it doesn't just stop there. And then also those people aren't just sketchy with money. They're sketchy in other ways as well.
The trust is not there.
Yeah.
And finances are huge, especially if you're not being honest and you do get married and you do blend finances. And I feel like a lot of these guys will act, he probably is acting like he's so rich and flaunts that a lot. That's a red flag too.
But also taking picture of her credit card, what, he's gonna use her money and just say what's the plan there?
Probably charge something and then she'll report it as stolen. I don't know.
That's probably what it is. But also she's telling her friends this. What does she expect her friends to say?
Her friends need to have her back in that moment and be like, yo,
that's weird. And I'm sure she was venting. This is weird, but she probably wants her friends to be like, no, it's okay. But they clearly don't think it's okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably what she was looking for, exactly that validation. And I dated a guy once who I had to pay for everything, and I'd literally slide him my card to pay for our dinner at a friend's dinner or whatever. And I mean, I was way younger at that point, but if someone would have asked me, I would have been like, yeah, I know. But I feel like that just comes from like an insecure place. She's probably insecure in her relationship, insecure in herself, and so she's putting up with this behavior.
Totally, but it's so sad
because
it is sad. You deserve more.
He's requesting $3 from her for buying her a coffee. You can't just buy your girlfriend a coffee.
I know. I feel like in that sense, I'm very traditional for some reason. Even when me and Brandon were dating, though, we got to this point where it was like, okay, I'll pay for dinner, you pay for dinner. But I feel like the expectation was more so Brandon would pay for dinner. And then I would be like, no, I'm going to pay for dinner. So it became more 50-50 when we were in the heart of dating because we were together for so long. But in the beginning, he would definitely always pay.
Yeah. And even as a friend, like if I picked you up a coffee and it was $3.47 or whatever, I would be like, don't worry about it.
But your boyfriend, is it her boyfriend or fiance? Did it say?
No, they've been dating for 6 months.
6
so it's
months?
Not too late.
Yeah, cut it out.
I want to hear one of yours.
One of my best friends recently confided in me that she completely dreads having sex with her husband. She'll fake sleep, make excuses, or even pick fights to avoid it. She says it's not that she doesn't love him. She does, but for her, sex feels like a chore. She described it as checking a box on a to-do list. She told me she hasn't felt a real sense of desire in years, and the idea of initiating or even going along with it makes her feel sick to her stomach. He's tried to be understanding, but he's clearly hurt and confused. He's starting to withdraw emotionally, which makes her feel even more guilty and isolated. She worries it's only a matter of time before it breaks their marriage. She asked me, am I broken, or is this just what happens after marriage and kids?
Oh, I hate this. I hate it. Okay, first of all, I think everyone's thought listening to that would be, are you not doing anything where you're enjoying sex?
Yeah, it's so hard.
What's the sex actually like? Because if you're dreading it that bad, then it's probably not enjoyable for you.
Exactly. And also, are you feeling disconnected, unsafe? What is the root cause of dreading sex? You just genuinely don't enjoy it, or is like you're not feeling safe and maybe your cup isn't full?
Yes, I think that she's somewhere in the middle because I feel like there is probably a combination of all things, But it is a common feeling of getting in these ruts where the last thing you want to do is that. Even if sex is amazing, or even if you orgasm every time, or your husband's so generous, or whatever it is, when you're tired and you have kids and everything and you just crawl into bed and he's trying to hanky-panky with you, literally, let me watch my show and sleep, please, right? So what about that girl? How does...
I know,
like,
I feel like
there's
there's
have
like...
for that?
There's two different layers, because it sounds like this girl's like, I would be fine never having sex literally ever again.
Which is on an extreme side.
Yeah. This phase of life is very hard. And especially as a mom, you're so overstimulated all the time. But intimacy is such an important part of not just a physical aspect, but emotional aspect of staying connected to your partner. Even afterwards, let's talk, let's connect, and you both feel in that love bubble. This girl, I would almost advise her to look within and see, why are you not feeling comfortable? Why are you dreading it? Maybe there's something more behind the curtain versus just not wanting to have sex. Because there's a layer where it's, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm not horny, I don't want to do that. That's one layer. But another layer is if the husband's starting to retreat emotionally as well, then she's going to retreat even more.
It's the domino effect of, you're not meeting my needs, so I'm not going to meet yours. And then it all falls and no one's trying in any department. I think that first steps would be finding a way to enjoy it. Maybe communicating, talking to your partner. Hopefully you have a good enough relationship where you can talk and be like, hey, look, I used to love it, but I don't anymore because of XYZ. Really sit down with yourself, write it out or something. Why are you not enjoying it? Get to the root of that, communicate that, and then move forward with a plan to maybe even try and be disciplined with it and say, okay, every Thursday we have sex, and stick to it.
The planned sex of it all, though, that's hard in itself. Does it really become a chore, or do you feel like that's necessary for some couples?
I totally get why it might seem like it, but I'm just saying, if you're in such a rut of hating it, I think being disciplined and setting a goal, let's do it once a week, not even a certain day, like once a week.
That's your bare minimum, is once a week.
Yeah, and then you set that goal and then you do it, and then you realize, wow, I'm really enjoying this. Wow, I'm feeling a lot more connected. My husband's being more emotionally connected with me. Just try it and see the benefits. Some people probably just don't enjoy it as much as others, and that's hard and sad. And typically men need it and enjoy it a lot more or whatever. So either find a way to enjoy it or use it as a tool of, this facilitates so much connection and adds a lot to my life when I do it.
And maybe if you're in the depths of that, it feels like I will never want to have sex ever again, or I never want to be intimate. Maybe just reminding yourself that's not lost. And there could be more. And honestly, it could be something like, do we need some type of therapy or connection outside of intimacy? Maybe like couples counseling or something like that could help facilitate feeling comfortable.
Or do you need personal therapy to just figure out why maybe you're hating it so much?
Yeah, and maybe there's something so much deeper and more within that. Maybe there is something that this friend isn't aware of that is causing such traumatic response to, I do not.
And maybe it's something that their spouse is doing and making it not enjoyable, or putting pressure on them, or the way that they treat them in those scenarios. You just never know, because how sex is with your husband isn't how it is with all husbands.
And I think it's sad that this girl was like, am I broken? You're not broken if you feel that way. And she probably feels like, I wish I could just be horny all the time and want this. I think maybe focusing on the connection of it all first. And also, intimacy doesn't necessarily have to be sex.
Yeah.
It can be like, hey, let's go to bed 30 minutes early without our phones, without a show, and just lay in bed and cuddle and talk and see where that leads to. Maybe they're just not getting enough time to connect
beforehand, because then once you jump right into it, it's like, I don't want to be doing this right now. But if you really emotionally connected, you'd be more in the mood.
Yeah, exactly. Or even just kissing.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be the pressure of sex, but let's just kiss. Let's just make out. And maybe communicate that with your partner. Can it not always just lead to sex? Can we just kiss for a little bit? Build maybe some safety nets where you feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, you go.
Okay, this one's crazy. The other night, my friends and I went to dinner to celebrate my birthday. During the dinner, one of our friends admitted that she has a huge crush on her husband's best friend. Like full-on butterflies, dreams about him, the whole thing. What's crazy? What's crazy is they're all in the same friend group. He's at their house all the time. Football nights, game nights, even on trips. Nothing's happened, but she swears he flirts with her sometimes. She loves her husband, but this crush is seriously messing with her head. She's torn. Does she tell someone, cut him off completely, or quietly suffer forever? This is hard.
The fact that this friend is telling a friend group, I have a crush on my husband's best friend, is wild.
Actually crazy.
It is eating her alive.
And that's what's hard. First of all, inappropriate, like not okay. But if she's having this feeling so strongly that she's expressing it, you've got to figure that out. And clearly it's on her mind. What would you do if I legit was like, I have a crush on Hayden's best friend? What would you tell me?
I would just be like, you and Hayden need to reconnect. It sounds like you and Hayden are not at a good, solid place.
What if I was like, no, we're fine?
I'd be like, clearly not.
Johnny is just so hot.
That is so wild. And I'm obsessed with this girl for submitting that.
I know.
Here's my thing. I don't even think it's necessarily about the best friend. I think she thinks it's about the best friend, but it says more about her state and wanting to feel ignited again, a crush, excitement, something. Clearly she's not feeling that. And so then it's easy to try to seek that out.
There's a certain kind of girl. I know a few girls that I can think of at the top of my head that are like this. Where you know when they have teenage boys, they're going to be flirting with the boys' friends. Or you know that they need attention from men. And so they flirt with everyone, even if it's their brother-in-law. Or they just need that attention and that validation in life. And so she's probably that personality type. It's so funny because reading that, I just can't imagine. All my friends' husbands are good looking, I guess, you know, and nice.
Yeah.
But I'm never in a situation. I have a lot of friends and they're all married or they're all in relationships. And I'm never once like, oh, Billy Bobby is looking good tonight or Billy Bobby is flirting with me. I'm never, ever thinking that. My head does not even go there.
But then you go to the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives where they're all swinging and how that probably started.
I don't know. It's such a different life. And maybe it's just my personality or
yeah,
something.
where it's like you just cannot even connect or fathom that scenario or situation.
Like if me, you, and Brandon and Hayden were on a trip and me and Hayden were just like, you guys ever think about
Oh my gosh.
it's like never. We would be like, but ew, like brother, sister, no.
No, but you hear Taylor Frankie Paul's whole origin story, and it's just a bunch of kids that are at a cabin drinking, playing, okay, now you guys kiss. Starts pretty innocent, like truth or dare here.
No,
there.
and I could see that.
Where it like trickles down. But here's my thing. This story is not
a drunken night.
Yeah, it's like I like him and can't stop thinking about him, and I'm telling my friend group this. It sounds very immature to me.
It does, but I think it happens at every age. Don't you think?
Yeah, I want this girl to close her eyes and really picture this scenario playing out. In what world is this going to be your fairy tale?
Oh, I'm sure she does. And I'm sure she loves it.
No, where it's like a horrible divorce. Your family knows this shame. His family, your friend group splits in half. Is this guy married? Do you have a crush on a married guy, or is it just the friend?
And is he married to your friend? If it says they're all in the same friend group, so that's sus. But also, it's probably just a fantasy, a sexual tension.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't have it. Close proximity.
I would say look towards your relationship. That's what the advice I would give a friend. Is there ways you guys could get back to that place that you were in the beginning where you felt that way about your husband? Like that crush.
Like reconnect your husband and maybe take some space from this guy.
Oh,
like
1,000%.
Don't on a trip anytime soon. Don't go away with them. Don't have late night game nights. Obviously, you want the relationship to be normal with your husband and him, so let them do their thing. But do you think in any world she should tell her husband? Or do you think it's innocent enough that she doesn't need to?
I just can't believe she's telling her friends. That's such a new level of it.
I would hope she looks inward, takes some space, and then like a year from now is like, LOL, I can't believe I had a crush on him.
That's what I hope. Try to reconnect to your relationship. Really figure out the state of that first.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's crazy. Okay, I'm going to tell you one.
Okay.
So my friend gets a lot of work done. Filler, Botox, body sculpting. But she's never told her husband. He's always going on about how much he loves that she's all natural and how he hates when women mess with their face. So she hides everything. She pays in cash, schedules appointments during her business trips, and even pretends the bruising is from bumping into things.
What?
She
It's like I bumped my mouth into the cupboard.
she says that it's her body and her choice. But isn't that a little dishonest? At what point is it lying by omission?
Oh gosh. How does your husband not notice, first of all?
Well, maybe it started with like Botox, and
I bet you that's pretty
notice
common.
that.
I bet you if some husbands are like, no, I would never want you to get Botox because they think it's just like extreme.
Botch job, yeah.
And then they're just getting some on their smile lines or their forehead and not telling their husband. That's probably normal. And girls will be girls, right? But also, are you just getting $800 cash back? How are you having this side cash?
I mean,
without
maybe
him
she just
noticing?
has her own job.
But even then, I have my own job. I guess I have my separate bank account too. But at the same time,
Or maybe they just have a lot of money, or he's not super into their finances and a few $100s here or there. Because Botox, you can get it for what, $200 sometimes for year 11.
Yeah.
And I think the filler of it all, I guarantee she's strategic enough where it's like, okay, I'm going to get half a syringe in my lip. So
Yeah.
he doesn't really notice. And if he does, I'll be like, oh, I don't know. There's things.
yeah, but your lips freaking swell up after you get those done. How do you hide that?
I know. I'm curious what she actually got done. If
Yeah.
I was hearing that from a friend, I'd just be like, that is wild. I see why this girl's like, I have to get this off my chest.
Yeah, I totally get why she'd tell her friends, and they're probably laughing about it and being like, oh my gosh, no way.
Because I
That's hilarious.
guarantee it's very innocent. The friend telling her friend group is just laughing about it. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, guys, I got another syringe. And he doesn't know. He just does not know.
Yeah.
But I will say, I feel like she should tell her husband. Because it is her body and her choice. But just be like, hey, this makes me feel better. I like this. I like how I look. The end. The lying element.
It is kind of lying by omission. It is. No matter how you look at it, just hiding anything from your partner. If you found out that he had been spending hundreds of dollars secretly doing something, it kind of breaks the trust a little bit.
100%.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you want me to read one?
Yeah.
Okay. One of our friends recently had a new baby. So we got all of our girlfriends together to go over and take the new mom dinner, catch up, and see the new baby. When we got there to meet the baby, our friend announced the new baby's name, which so happened to be the name that our other friend was openly planning on using for her next baby. The whole room went silent, and when she said the name, we all froze, but none of us called her out for it.
It's so funny how petty that is, but how that could just blow up a whole friend group. I'm on her side. I'm on her side. Da-da-da, and it can just all snowball. It sounds so stupid, but that kind of stuff is so real. And it's
That's
annoying.
the thing is when you're in it, it feels heavier. I don't know if it's just with age, and maybe I'll feel different when I have kids because I don't have kids who have names or anything. But this whole baby name thing, I'm like, who cares? Who cares if she has a Jessica and you have a Jessica? Is it really? I had 9 million friends with the same name. Like half my friends are named Maddie or Kenzie or whatever, and it's not that big of a deal, right?
I feel like the only way I would really care is if it was someone in my family, like a sister-in-law.
Yeah, a sister-in-law is different. But how would you feel if I named my kid Lennox? Would you low-key be a little bit bugged?
Yeah. Not like bugged, but I'd be like, oh, that's weird.
It would be weird.
Yeah. I feel like I would just be like, what?
Like I have a Lennox.
But if a random friend from high school that were friends but not that close named her kid Lennox, I'd be like, cool. But if
like in your high school friend group,
in my high school friend group, no, I don't think I would care that much.
you wouldn't.
I would be like, oh, no, I don't think I'd care that much. I'd be like, oh, okay, cute. I like the name Lennox, obviously. But I would weirdly want them to talk to me first about it. I feel like if they were just like, guess what, guys, the name's Lennox, and just like not acknowledge.
That's the thing is like they get to her house to bring her dinner and she's just like, yeah, Sarah Joe's her name. And they're like, oh my gosh, Sarah Joe was her name.
But that's just the baby name. Like she doesn't have a kid, right? It wasn't.
Yeah, she said, which so happened to be the name our other friend was openly planning on using. So it's like me being like, I'm going to use the name Remy. And then someone else has a baby and it's like, it's Remy.
Yeah, I think I'd be honestly probably more bugged in that scenario versus a friend is like, Chelsey, I just love the name Lennox and my grandpa was named Lennox. And
it's one thing if they steal it from you and use it first, right?
Yes.
Versus if they name their kid after you and copy you. You've had the name Lennox forever. But even just like, that's my name. I have friends who fight about this stuff where it's like, that's my name. I don't get it.
I know, but I felt that way. I held Lennox so close to the vest. I would not tell anyone because I didn't want someone to steal it. So I think it is maybe a first thing where it's like, I want to be the first.
Yeah, but here's the thing too. My sister stole my name. I loved the name Nora, and I told her about it, and she stole it. And at first I was pissed, but by the time I have a kid, that name will be so overused and I won't care anymore.
But also it's like someone you love. You can love your niece. But if it was a random friend, I feel like it'd be more annoying. If you were like, oh, guys, like Nora, the name, if they said it all the time.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, boom, Nora, baby. You'd be like, that is messed up.
I know, but it's so funny though, because you didn't tell me the names of your kids until you had them.
Yeah.
I was too afraid to even ask, like, what are you going to name your baby? And you're like 8 months pregnant. But I get why people do it. What was that? Was it because you didn't want people to copy you?
Or you steal it from me,
opinions?
probably. Opinions for sure, especially when I was pregnant. I just didn't want to hear any opinions. I didn't want to be like, oh, I don't love that. Well, that's their name.
Yeah.
But then they can't really give that when the baby's here. They can't be like, I don't really like Lennox. So I think it was the opinion thing when I was pregnant. But before, it was definitely like, I don't want anyone to get the idea and take it.
Because did you have a list of baby names before you started having kids?
Yes. And in junior high, I loved the name Dashel. I know.
Glad
like
you grew out
cringe.
of that one.
And Brandon still to this day is like, I cannot imagine you naming our kid Dashnell. And I'm like, it was Dashel. I loved it, and call him Dash. Classic Incredibles. It's just funny how they evolve over time. But Lennox, I had for probably 2 years before he was born. I knew, and it was going to be either for a boy or a girl.
Where did you find that name?
Where did we find it? I think it was like a character on a show.
Which is so funny because remember when Lennox was first born and you named him Lennox, it was always the plan to call him Knox. And you never call him Knox. I'm sure maybe privately in your home, but it's not
No,
a
I
thing.
don't. No, I never
really?
call him Knox. And I would say, his name's Lennox and he's going to go by Knox. There actually was a book and the main guy was named Knox. And I thought that was really cool. So I was like, we'll call him Lennox and go by Knox. But
He's not a Knox.
He doesn't even have a nickname. It's like Lennox. But it's weird because Riggs, you would assume it's so short. There's not a lot of nicknames, but he's only nicknames Riggsy, Riggos, Riggsy Roo. So many. Riggs, I think we got it from Friday Night Lights. Tim Riggins. But they call him Riggs. And so we liked that. And we were going to name him Riggins and call him Riggs. But I just like Riggs.
Just Riggs.
And then Rooney, we liked the band Rooney. Remember the early 2000s? And we call him Rooney Goonie. Goons, the Goons.
You see those videos where it's like, tell me your dog's name and tell me what you call it. And it literally starts here and ends here.
Or it would be weird. It would be even more messed up if someone was like, oh, this is the name. And then they get a new dog. And then they're like, oh, my dog's name's Nora.
I did that. My sister was pissed.
Oh, Scout?
Because Nora's middle name is Scout. And she was like, okay, that's my kid's middle name. But that's fun. Like, it's fine.
Uh-huh.
You're like, no, I would be pissed.
No, I feel like I'd
Because
be...
Nora was already born.
Exactly.
And so she was, like,
but it's like you stole it and we're like, oh, my dog's name. If someone before I had Lennox would be like, this is my dog Lennox. And then people were like, oh, did you name him after the dog?
You want to know what sucks? First of all, I don't have any names I like. I have like one or two, but they're maybes. Hayden, we always joke because even when I got Scout and he was like, we should get another dog, he loves the name Bella.
Sick.
Like the worst name. I'm sorry to any Bellas listening, but like literally the worst name.
Well, it's just like Bella Swan.
And so I'm just picture a little chihuahua, like Bella. I'm not naming my cute big dog, golden retriever Bella. Like, come here, Bella. Like, no.
Bella is such a generic white bread name.
Yeah, imagine me naming my daughter Bella. But that's the thing. Picking a name is like planning your wedding on Pinterest in 2011 and then thinking it's going to hold steady in 2025.
Yeah, my mom says all the time, I do not like the name Chelsey. And I'm like, sorry.
You're like, cool. Well,
the only name she likes out of all my siblings is Cole, my little brother.
Really?
She likes that name still, but the other name, she's like, I don't like it.
It's so hard. Do you still just love your kid's name so much? Or does it come in phases?
No, I love it. I will say I don't love Jack as a middle name. And the thing that's so effing annoying is my kids are the one who named him that. Because when I was pregnant, Riggs had an imaginary friend named Jack even before I got pregnant. And so when he was 2 or 3, he would play with Jack, his friend, and be like, me and Jack are playing. Anyways, I got pregnant and he was like, oh, you're pregnant with baby Jackie. Jack's in your belly. And so the whole entire time I was pregnant, they called him Jack. And I was like, little did I know, that's not going to be his name. It's going to be Rooney.
But isn't that sentimental and sweet enough for you to like the name?
No. And so then I was like, okay, we'll do it as the middle name. Da, 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 da. But Jack is not my vibe, you know? I would have probably done a different middle name, but I thought it'd be so sweet and the boys would love it. Just never have called him Jack ever again. And I'm like, great. You're not even going to remember this. And now it's a Rooney Jack.
But now you can share that story. And who really, like... I don't even know Brandon's middle name. Do you even know
Alvin.
Hayden? That's the thing. Does
What's
that even
Hayden's?
matter?
For some reason, I want to say it's like Marion or something.
No, his middle name is Hayden. His first name's S.
Oh yeah, da 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 da.
Which
Is that
don't get me
weird that you guys have
started.
the? Is it weird that you guys have the same first name?
S?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because that's your nickname for me is S. And then when people call him S, I'm like,
Who
"Excuse
calls
me?"
him S?
There's a group of friends that exclusively call him S.
But know him from what?
But that was their nickname.
Was he in third grade at a random school and went by
No.
S?
I think one of the guys just found out his first name was S, and then they just called him S. There was a stage in 7th grade when I was determined to change my name to Brooke, which is my middle name, because I just hated the name Sammy.
Why?
I don't know why. I just thought Brooke was like...
Did you like Samantha?
Yeah, I liked Samantha. And I love Samantha. I love my name now, but at that point in my life, I was like...
You're definitely
school,
not a
new me.
Samantha.
Really?
You are, but not at all. Like you're a Sammy, you're an S. Warrens.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if I heard someone call Hayden S, I'd be like,
Yeah.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of people call you Sam, and I feel like I'll slip every once in a while and be like, Sam. And I'm like,
That's so weird.
yeah.
If
You just call me
Sam.
Chels.
Yeah. And it's only Chelsea. You are exclusively Chelsea to me.
I know. If you were to call me Chelsea,
Why is that so weird to think about you calling me Sam? Because I love when people call me Sam. But if
I
you
know.
were to say it, it would sound so weird.
I know because it's like S, but it's weird because it's S. Warrens. And that's not even your last name. You have to remind me literally every 2 weeks. My last name's not Warner.
We're filling out legal documents for our podcast. And she's just like, and Chelsea Perez and Sammy Warner. I'm like, bitch, my last name's Stewart. But I know. It will never
Do you
be
feel
the
very
same.
tied to Stuart? Does it feel
No.
like yourself?
It's only been 2 years.
I know, but I don't like my name.
Oh.
I'm just going to declare that right now.
You're
Because
discriminating against your family name?
that, but just Chelsea. Sometimes I'll just say it and I feel so disconnected from it. I'm like, Chelsea is not my name.
It's like when you're turning your hand. You're like, Chelsea,
who's that? Me. Or if someone else is like, oh, Chelsea Clinton or Chelsea blah, blah, blah. They say
Yeah.
another Chelsea. I do not resonate with that name.
Or if there's like Chelsea on Love Island, you're like, who is that stranger?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a jump scare. Whenever there's like a Sammy, I'm like, oh boy.
Do you feel like it's you though? Or are you like, that's my name? I'm always disconnected. Like, oh, it's just a random Chelsea. I'm not like, oh.
Yeah.
But my last name's Porras. That's brutal.
hard because it's hard to say.
Yeah, because technically it's like Porras. And I'm like, I'm not going to be like this white ass girl. Like, hi guys, I'm Chelsea Porras, you know? So it's like you have to say Porras. And then that sounds weird. If I'm with Brandon's family and I whip out that name, they're like,
And is it poor ass or poor us?
sad. Brandon said people used to call him poor ass. Did
Yeah.
you? Mm-hmm. You're so rude.
I mean, I was like, poor ass. But it was just like, Brandon, poor ass. Yeah. Or it really was just mainly just Brown Dawn.
Brown Dawn 88. Wow, we had a lot to say on that.
Like, anyways, back to ourselves. Should we do one more to just cap her off? I want your thoughts on this one.
Okay.
One of our girlfriends at a girls' night opened up to us and said that she doesn't like her stepkids. She's a stepmom to 2 teenagers and feels like the worst person alive because she doesn't like them. She said they're constantly rude, blow past every boundary, and treat their dad, her husband, like an emotional punching bag. She's tried everything, therapy, bonding, space, and nothing works. She admitted she actually dreads when they come over.
Oof, that's brutal. That's such a beast.
Empathy to moms who have to co-parent. Divorce is so hard no matter what scenario you're in. Co-parenting and blended families is so hard.
I know. The only thing I can think of is I would just love the kids. Even if they just do not like you, make them feel, it sucks if they're like so rude, but it just make them feel like this is your home. This is your family. I am here. And hopefully that taste in their mouth will outlast this phase that they're in.
I know. What kind of things do you feel like you'd practice if you're like, okay, I can tell a stark difference between my kids. I love my kids that I brought into this family versus his kids. Are there things that you could practice or do that would make you treat them like your own?
Yeah, like service. Just serve them.
Just
and
be that like giving mom who just kind
Yeah.
of takes a beating but loves her kids endlessly.
Yeah, and they might just still hate you or be rude to your husband, whatever it is, but it's not your job, especially it sounds like they're older. It's not your job to discipline them. It is your job to make them feel welcome when they do come over, is what I would say, but it's way harder said than done.
And that's hard too because you can't even vent to your husband about it because of his kids. So totally vent to your friends. Find an outlet that's a safe outlet to vent to. But then at the end of the day, just remember the love that you have for your husband and really just try and see the good in them and hope that that relationship swings back the other way.
Yeah, hopefully they're like 22 and they're like, yeah, it was definitely hard because clearly these kids are going through it. They're probably back and forth. They're going through a lot, even if they're lashing out. But hopefully when they grow up, they're like, you know what? One thing I really loved though is my stepmom always made me feel included and wanted and celebrated.
Yeah, and I think remembering that. Just remember that they're going through a lot and that you can be a safe space for them. Yeah. It's hard though, but find an outlet, literally, to vent.
Yes, vent to all your friends.
And just know you're not a bad person for feeling that way.
Yeah, totally.
Do we feel purged?
Oh my gosh. And we read what, 5? There was so many.
I know.
So
and like all different topics. Because you think about it, I genuinely think about like the most recent girls' dinners that I've had. I could name 10 things right now that are crazy. Everyone is going through so much in their life. And you don't want to be petty or anything, but there's so much that you have to just get off your chest.
I know. So just tell us and then we'll air it out for you. I loved all this, but I do feel like there is a need for this based on the responses we got. So we will narrow down topics. This was just kind of the overarching girls' dinner, but then we'll pick topics and then you guys can tell us specific things.
I love that. This is going to be fun. I'm excited. Okay, you guys, today's episode is sponsored by Cozy Earth.
We've both been using their bamboo sheets and I am obsessed.
I know. They are butter.
The softest sheets I've ever felt in my life. People always equate the gold standard to hotel sheets and I've never understood that. I go to a hotel, I'm like, these are scratchy, they itch. I do not like them.
They're starchy. These are the opposite of that. You get in and you want to just rub your body all over because they're just silky, buttery, smooth.
And cooling. They're breathable luxe sheets. They're lightweight and actually help you regulate your body temperature while you sleep, which is a game changer.
And did you actually know that when your body is cooler at night, it helps you produce more melatonin, which helps you get a deeper sleep? And being cooler at night also helps you produce more serotonin, which means you wake up in a better mood.
Yes, please sign me up every single night.
Being cool at night is so important.
Because have you ever just woken up in the middle of the night and you're just sweaty and like fever dream? Do you not know where you are? This is the exact opposite. You wake up feeling, oh, I just want to get in bed right now, honestly.
I know. And before we got Cozy Earth sheets, Hayden used to always sleep on top of the blanket, on top of our duvet cover, because he just hated how hot under the sheets was. But now ever since we switched to Cozy Earth, he sleeps underneath the blankets with me finally because the sheets are that cooling, which is a testament in itself.
If you want to try them out for yourself, go to cozyearth.com and use code Deepish for 40% off.
That is amazing.
Yes.
40% is actually crazy.
You get a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, which you honestly have nothing to lose. I can't wait for you guys to try them out.
We know you guys are going to love them, so go check out Cozy Earth. And thank you, Cozy Earth, for sponsoring this episode.
Okay, so one other fun thing we wanted to start doing is at the end of each episode, recap our week and go into our forecast of the week.
Yeah, so we're going to do our weekly forecast, and I think this will be a good way to catch up on each other's weeks and also get some good thoughts out there.
Yes.
So for our weekly forecast, we're going to share something that we did, something we felt, something we learned, and something we loved.
That's where it becomes the number 4 cast of the week.
The Deepish forecast. So then you guys can look forward to our forecast every week and we can tell you what we've been up to, get into a little bit of our personal stuff so that we can still be sharing that side of us as well.
Yes, totally.
Okay, so something I did this week is something I've been wanting to do for a while and I'm so glad that I did it and I hope I continue to do it. But I started online journaling again. I used to have a blog back in the day and then that switched. I have a private online, it's through Blogspot. But I journaled like when my grandma died and I kind of do it in the post format where I can really write out how I'm feeling. And
are you a good writer?
I think so. My mom and dad would always tell me, you need to write more. I can like capture emotion and write a good caption or whatever. But I enjoy writing. I've always loved writing and I think it's always been an outlet for me. But I'm realizing how much I'm forgetting. And I think this is a common thing, but I've always had a really good memory. But it's so weird. It's a thought I've had too of most days don't matter. Most days you don't remember. Like you're going to have no idea what you did today in 3 weeks from now. And I feel like I didn't write much when I was dating Hayden, when we got married, trying for a baby, none of that. And even my mom dying, I'm forgetting so much about her. And so I'm like, I need to start writing. And it's not just like July 12th, 2025. Today I did this. It's very much like a theme. And I try and make a blog post. And I love going back and reading them.
Oh,
But it's just something I want to do more.
good.
It's just write it down and document it, because you really do forget things. And when I'm going through big things, it feels so insignificant. But when you look back, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I forgot
like,
I
what's
was
like a
feeling
theme?
them.
Like, give me an example of a theme that one you try to kind of stick to, or do you not want to?
Well, it's different themes every time. But I did this post and I had started a journal entry about it. I should let you read it because I literally cried. But it was after I had posted this reel of my wedding pictures. And I talk about in my caption how hard it was being single and how I always felt like people weren't choosing me. And I'm so glad Hayden was here the whole time and chose me, and how much these pictures mean because it's my dreams coming true and all these things. And I wrote it in a way that I was like, whoa, I'm taken back to that moment and that feeling, because that feeling doesn't exist for me anymore. Like, I carried that in my pocket for all of those years. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how painful that was and how much I wanted this. And looking at it now, looking at those wedding pictures, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so special. And just casually going back and reading that. So I drafted a post of that, and then I went back and read it and was like, wow, I wish I would have saw this through, because this is so powerful and just helps you remember it. So that's something I did that I really want to continue doing, and I think everyone should do.
I love that so much. It makes me want to journal, but then also I'm like, I hate journaling. So I need to find something else.
Like, you should do it, and if you hate journal, because same, if I was to handwrite literally what I said, or
I know
whatever.
what I need to do. I used to do, it's been years, but I had my own Instagram. And then it was just a journal Instagram. So
and do detailed captions.
that's what I would do. I would write captions about my week.
But also,
or
it's even that. I guess with kids, it's more important. Like, oh, Rooney started walking and blah, blah, blah. But this is, you would do a blog post on time being fleeting. And it can be cheesy, but I remember hearing the pitter patter of their feet, and now I hear their shoes as they get home from school. And it's like these dramatic entries, but they capture so much emotion where you can read them in 20 years and
be transported back into that moment.
in that moment.
I know, that's what I'm thinking about so much. I do feel like I'm very good at being present. I force myself in these moments to be like, this is his freaking smile right now. You better freaking memorize it. And I'm in that moment. But I do have a very bad memory. So I need to document more.
For sure. And I think it's obviously a shared thing. And I think when you go through more trauma, I think that's what did it for me. I used to have the best memory, but the last 5 years is melting away for me, because I just feel like it's been a little bit traumatic.
A little.
Maybe a lot. But you know what I mean? I didn't have that experience before. And then I'm like, wait, no, I need to remember what this felt like, because you're going through all these experiences where you're learning and you're building this strength. But then once that goes away, you have no knowledge of it.
I know. It's a beautiful sentiment, too, of literature in general, because you can find similarities. It's crazy because you look back on your own words and find that, like, oh my gosh, I still see that person. But just reading a book, you can be like, whoa, I feel that. And it's crazy someone else feels that.
So
It's really powerful.
It really is. So that was something I did. Oh, felt it. Oh, this was hard. I was thinking about this because I was like, oh, what did I feel this week? And I feel like I'm just feeling emotional in all the ways. I'm still waiting to start my period, and I'm feeling like I'm in a time warp. And I don't know, I'm just feeling stuck. Yeah. And I hate that feeling. And I just want to keep pushing ahead. I want some results, some progress, some change. But I'm just out here grinding and prepping for the storm.
I think it'd be different if it's you were on Provera. I think right now it's a real waiting game. Am I going to start my period on my own? Do I have to get it started? And I feel like that's the worst times for you, when there's no action being
like
taken.
When you're in the wait. Yeah. And it's a combination, because I'm not on meds right now, which is amazing. And I'm just trying to enjoy. I've told you, I literally feel like I'm just sat down on a roller coaster, buckling my seatbelt, and I'm just sitting there waiting for them to start. And I'm like, is this ride scary? Tell me everything. And I'm just like, terrified. But I'm like, let's just get this over with. Let's just go. And so that's my main emotion, is I'm just frustrated. I'm feeling stuck, and that's frustrating to me. I don't even know if I've learned it yet. But I'm learning that I need to give myself grace and set boundaries, especially at this time in my life. Even with work and with friendships and family, I can't give my 110% to everyone. And I think that's something that's going to prepare me for motherhood, being able to be like, sorry guys, I can't show up to everything, and I can't plan everything, and I can't give 100% to work and this podcast and my relationship. Something's got to give. And I think that starts with giving myself grace. And I feel like I'm starting to practice that and learn how to do that, and learn that those relationships and those people are still going to be there even if I'm not. giving 1,000% to it.
And I think there's a power in just expressing to others, hey, I love you, but I can't give this to you right now because I'm going through a lot. Even just expressing that to someone is so powerful, because then the person wants to give you that grace, and they're not left in the dark. If they're like, Sammy, hello, where are you? You're up front with those expectations, and then that's a place where those friends and family and work or whatever can rally around you.
I'm just hoping that my history of showing up for my friends, or my history of being a hard worker or a good wife or a good daughter
Will shine through
and get me through that time where I'm like, hey guys, I might be a couple months, but please still love me. I still love you, but I'm not coming on Sunday, or I can't make it, or I missed the mark on this in our friendship. And so that's something I'm learning and trying to implement. Loved it. So my dad's been in town, and me and my family have been playing cards every single night. We've been playing Canadian Salad. Have you ever played that?
No, you need to teach me all the games.
Oh, it's so fun. But there's something about when you get in the groove of playing games, and you all get your snacks, you all get your drinks, you gather on the table, and you just play games for hours. Once I get in that mode, then you start craving it. And now I just can't wait for 4th of July weekend, and I can't wait to just be gathered around playing cards all night, eating snacks, all the things.
Oh my gosh, I love that. It's hard right now because I feel like ever since I have had kids, you have a baby or a toddler, whatever, and you're always distracted at family events playing games. Me and Brandon had to tag in, tag out. Like, crap, my kid's crying. Now I got to put him down, whatever. But there were years where we were locked and loaded. We were playing Catan for hours. It's the most bonding, universally bringing people together, and also breaking a family apart as well. I've never hated people more than when I play games.
Really? Are you super competitive?
No.
So why?
Because when other people are super competitive,
you're just like, okay, chill.
Yeah, or it's super intense, and I'm just like, I have never hated you more in this moment. I feel like people's true colors, it's like my emotions and sensitivity is times 11, and then it's like their ugly qualities are a light
shining through.
Yeah.
That's so true.
The little jabs or this or that, and you're just like, whoa. And then I'm crying over it. And it's like, okay, really? You also need to chill.
Some intense games. It's not like that at my house.
Have you never played a whodunit game?
Oh, yeah. Like a mafia type thing.
Yeah. Or have to go undercover. Those type of games.
See, those games are hard.
It's not for me. But a good solid card game or something like that. And you know what the best is? Mexican Train. Dominoes.
Oh, yeah. You and Brandon taught us how to play that. And then I bought it, and we've never played it. But it was so fun that one night.
It's so fun because so many people can play.
And it's just relaxed. Like,
it's just like chill. And also you play like 13 rounds. And you don't have to play all of them. But you're never like, it's all on the line.
Yeah, you turn on music and just chill.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear your forecast.
Oh, was that all of them? I was just loving that. Tell me more.
No, I got to just sit here and listen.
My did it this week. I have been starting taking the boys on dates. Me and Brandon, he'll take Lennox and I take Riggs. So we have individual time with them. But this week I was like, I want to take the boys just on a mommy date. And so we went to the movies.
You took Lennox and Riggs?
Yeah. Like a brother date.
Okay.
Rooney stayed home with Brandon. But I'm trying to do different combos or one-on-ones. I just want them to not feel like we never had our time. So I took Lennox and Riggs and we went to the movies, and it was one of those moments where I'm sitting in the middle of them. They're both on my chair with me. They just migrated over. So we're squished in this chair, and luckily it was a luxury so we could fit. But I was like, I've never been happier.
That's the best. Pinch me. This is amazing.
Yeah. This is the dream where my boys are literally right next to me. And then Brandon's sending me pictures of Rooney, and they're having their little bonding time, and you get all the drinks. Also, it's so effing expensive. For us three to go to the movies and get a drink and a tree and popcorn was $100.
Isn't that crazy?
$100.
You gotta go before and get treats at the gas station. And
we did that because for one treat, it's like $7.50. That is insane. But I'm wanting to make it special, so I'm like, get ices and a treat.
Oh, yeah, the ices and the treats for the kids. Like, get whatever you want, and it's worth it. It's worth it.
And I don't even really watch the movies anymore. I do, but I'm not here for this movie. I'm here to cuddle with my babies
and just have that undivided time
and just that safety. That feeling of safety is what I'm craving. So much of my life right now is so chaotic and so anxiety inducing, and so those moments of levity really mean a lot to me. So that's something I did. Felt it. That was kind of to tack on, just feeling that comfort and peace of that moment. Learned it.
You're always out here learning. You gotta have a good one.
This is so random. I love IMDb. It's my favorite app. You can look up the movies and stuff. And I'm learning now the different departments, like the sound department. Anyways, we were watching the show Motorheads. It's so stupid. That's on Amazon Prime, and it's just a cheesy teen, whatever. And actually, one of the writers of One Tree Hill is the creator of this show. He wrote a handful of episodes. He was a producer, and now he created this show. So there's little hints of One Tree Hill, like that essence. Not as good, obviously, but the soundtrack is so good in
Motorhead.
It's very trendy stuff, but also there's throwbacks in the show. So it'll be like The Killers or just throwback songs, kind of like Tell Me Lies. Their soundtrack is all 2000s music, which I love. But I was like, I love this soundtrack. And so I looked up the sound director or whatever, and then I went and I saw he's one of the most famous sound directors and picks music for so many movies and shows. And it's so cool because you watch a show and there's so much behind it and there's so many people and they have these careers and stuff. And I'm so interested of film and television that way because a soundtrack can make or break a show for me, or a score or anything. And I'm realizing it's becoming a little bit of a passion of needing to know. Or the costumes in Tell Me Lies, it's all based in the early 2000s. And I'm like, who is the costume designer? And then I go to her page and I'm listening to a YouTube video that she made that was like, I had to go find all these vintage pieces and all these things. It's so cool.
Just the behind the scenes of it all.
Yeah. So I learned that.
So for IMDb, do they share everything like that? Costume designers, this soundtrack.
Yeah, they give the name and then I go to his history and then I can see everything that he's done. And it's so many things. And I'm like, wow, this guy knows his stuff. Because they're literally licensing all of these songs. Probably they have a list of songs that are already licensed that they can just buy. But a lot of them, they probably have to go to the artist or go to that manager and try to negotiate for these songs. Because it's a budget. Each song is a cost. But just even that element, you don't think about it when you're watching a show.
That's what I think about The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's all Taylor Swift. And I'm like, how much did you guys pay for these songs? Because
totally
their entire soundtrack is just different Taylor Swift songs.
Oh, yes. Because then you really think about it and you're like, I'm not hearing Taylor Swift's music in a lot of shows. Do they have a deal? What's going on? Also, loved it. I love Taylor and Travis. I love them. They were at a wedding a few weeks ago and I'm just like, you guys are so cute at a wedding together, at a friend's wedding. And then the other day they were like at a bar and just chilling with their friends. And the club owner was like, oh, Taylor, da, 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 would you come play a song? And she's with Travis at this little small...
Well, it was an event for a charity event for all of the linebackers or whatever. And Kane Brown was performing and Kane Brown's the one who had her.
But do you feel like
perform with him?
Do you think that was planned?
Yeah, because I think obviously he knew that she was coming, that Travis is affiliated with it. But I'm sure it was probably last minute or whatever.
But just even them walking out of there doing it, I'm like, this is real. It feels so real.
Or you see videos of them out at dinner or out at a club or something. One of her songs comes on and they're singing together and it's so cute.
But just even looking back at her little wispy hair at this wedding and they're just dancing and probably a little buzzed. And they're finding their normalcy within being these massive celebrities. And... they still feel normal and they're finding that. And I just love them and I want them to get married and I want them to have a million babies and just live happily ever after. I feel like she deserves it and he's giving her that energy. And I haven't noticed that with her in a relationship before. It has not been like this. It's different.
I feel like it kind of was with Calvin.
But not like this. It was very like clubby and not
but
so
then like building a snowman over Christmas. They were cute, I thought. Because that was the most public she's been. It's hard because then with Joe or her other guys, she's so private. And then with Travis, it's been a lot more public. It's hard for me to decipher because I'm like, is it just because I'm seeing this side of her?
But I do feel like it's like, okay, Joe was so private, so she was private. And Calvin Harris was so like, EDM, let's go. And so they're more public events and like doing all these things. He is more of a public figure. But it's weird because I feel like Taylor's starting to realize, what do I want? And I feel like Travis is in that with her. Do what we want to do.
Like
together.
I think he's letting her set the pace.
Yes. Totally. But I think it's definitely a give and take where it's like, come to this event, my event.
Yeah. I think she compromises where she's not so much going at his pace, but I don't think it's all at her pace either.
But even you hear little stories, obviously we don't see so much of their relationship, but what we do see, I'm like, you're out here just trying to really have a normal relationship. And I love that. Really, do you love them?
Yeah, I like them. I don't know. I just feel burnt out on the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Obviously, I'm a huge Swiftie and I see stuff and I'm like, yes, they're so cute. But I just feel so just burnt out by it all, where I'm just like, yeah. You know?
Oh my gosh.
Because when they first started dating, it was everything. It was so big. Everyone was talking about it. Every single time they show her on the football screen. Did you know that Taylor Swift put Travis Kelce on the map? That whole thing. And now it's just like, yeah, they're cute. But I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with you. I'm happy that she's happy. And I hope that they stay together forever.
Yeah, I do too. And I'm missing her in general. I've been listening to her music a lot lately. I'm just like, I miss you being in my face.
Yeah. Do you regret not going to the Eras tour?
Oh, yes. And I tried multiple times and it just didn't work. And I'm devastated.
I know, but I had that thought the other day where I was like, I wonder if Chelsey regrets it or if it was just such a big thing at the time that it felt like everything. And now that it's over, it's like, oh, I'm glad I didn't spend $1 million and go.
No, I wish I would have gone because I think about going to Adele was a lot of money, but it was a dream. And I know that that's how the Eras tour would have been. Or just a Taylor concert in general would have been like that for me, where it's like that was everything.
Yeah, because you've never been to see her at all.
No, never.
Next one. We're going.
I hope she has the next one.
What are you talking about? You just think she's never going to tour again?
I don't know. She's really yanking our chain lately. I don't know.
What do you mean yanking our chain?
I just don't know what her game plan is, or if there's another concert it's going to be like in 10 years, or is she going to have babies?
Yeah,
or...
it was so predictable there for a while, where it was like, okay, she still has to release Red and Speak Now, and then Eras tour is 3 years long.
And so now it's just like, what's next? And it's like, there's not a next, and that's probably what she needs.
Which is nice, but also it's going to be such a surprise, and when it happens, it's going to be that much sweeter. Or it's just going to be out of nowhere. But the time will come again.
Exactly.
Yay.
Yeah, so that was my week.
Love it. Love it.
Love it, lick it, list it, love it.
Side note, we watched Love It or List It, and it's the best show ever.
So good. It's my hotel television.
Love It or List It?
Yeah.
You just have to see it. Are they going to love it, or are they going to list it?
Oh, you have to wait, and you have to wait for the 15 commercial breaks, and then the ending. And we're going to love it.
They always love it. It's funny.
They always love it. And you should know by now.
But then they always make one person pick a side. They're like, I don't know. We'll see. If they can't do the patio, then I'm moving. It's so funny.
I know. But my dream when I was little was like, oh, I'm going to get my parents on this. The Extreme Makeovers or the Property Brothers or whatever it is. Or like a random aunt or a neighbor. I'm like,
absolutely.
Did you remember the Extreme Makeover show? Were you ever just like, I want to submit my random neighbor teacher for this?
Yeah, I just never really watched it.
Oh, I did. And it's like, now they have a new body and a new hairline and a new teeth.
Do you think they just starved those people?
No, they probably just liposuctioned them
Like,
all.
we have a 3-week run time. You gotta go just not eat, and then we'll dye your hair and get you new clothes.
No, they probably just literally liposuctioned them into like their...
Liposuction doesn't work. I'm convinced.
I just remember that in the show, it would show them under anesthesia and then the tube in their belly, and it was just like...
What? Really? That's crazy.
Wow. There was so many problems with that. And they walk out to their friends and they're just like, wow, you're hot now. You were hideous before.
See, I remember The Biggest Loser and shows like that, but Extreme Makeover...
It was like Mia Thermopolis on steroids. It was like, you take this fat this fat hoe and this ugly monster, and now you have a princess, and they just walk through the reveal.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, guys, thanks for being with us. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah, how did you feel like these new segments were?
Oh, I loved it.
Did you have so much fun?
I love this. And I do feel more connected to you guys. I feel like you're sharing with us and it feels like you're part of the podcast and wanted that. So if you guys have any stories, be looking for our submissions. We'll post them on Instagram and TikTok. There'll be a Google form that's a blind submission. You don't have to tell us your name or anything. It's all anonymous, or you can DM us too if you want to do that way, or email us, however you want to submit these stories. But I feel like the anonymous was key for a lot of these. So,
and our inbox is always open.
Yes, exactly.
Send us your tea anytime on the way home from the girls' night if you need to.
Yes.
We're here. But also, guys, just remember, don't tell anyone we told you this.
But if you do, tell them you didn't hear it from us.
Facts.
Okay, guys, love ya.
Talk to you guys next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.